Hello everyone, welcome to our video 7a. What time is it now? As you can tell from the story or from the title, we're gonna be talking about the time, okay? How do we tell the time? The first one, we're gonna check different expressions, formal and informal expressions to report the time. The second, we're gonna talk about weekend activities. And number 3, we're going to use prepositions of time. As usual, we have 3 recommendations for you. Remember, you can pause the video at any time. The second, it's a great idea to take notes. And number 3, make sure you ask your teacher any questions. Remember, this is an introductory video to your class, and then you'll have the opportunity to practice with your teacher, okay? Now, there is a very short video clip I would like you to watch. This is called 10 examples what famous people do in their spare time. It's very interesting because it gives you some curiosities about people, famous people that you know, probably know. And I would like you to pay close attention to those activities that they practiced on the weekend or their spare time, their free time. And after that, you will be asked a few questions, okay? So please watch and pay close attention. Okay, now let's get into the topic, asking the time. There are some common ways to ask the time. There are typical questions like, what time is it? What is the time? Do you know the time? Do you know what time it is? So all these 4 questions are easy questions you can ask, okay? But there are also other polite ways to ask the time, especially from a stranger. Imagine you are walking by the street and you don't have the time with you and you want to ask a different person. You can say, sorry, could you tell me what time is it, please? Or could you tell me the time, please? Again, when you use the auxiliaries could and can, you would definitely sound more formal, okay? Now, what about giving the time? What if it's the opposite? What if someone else is asking you for the time? There are different ways to answer. It's exactly, or about, or almost, or just gone. Sure, it is, 4:30. It's 7 past 10. The time is 9 o'clock. Oh, sorry, I'm not wearing a watch. Okay, so let's say that in the last one, it's particularly different since if you don't have the time with you, this is what you actually can say. Sorry, I'm not wearing a watch. Okay, now let's look at this chart. This is a comparative chart that basically gives us some information about formal but easier way to tell the time, and then another one that is more popular. Okay, let's look at the formal one. Let's say the hours first and then the minutes. For example, 7:45. Remember, first 7, this is the hour, and then 45 refers to the minutes. Remember that for minutes 1 through 9, you can pronounce the O. This one, this is number 0 actually, as O. Okay, this is very common. So you could say here it's 11:06 instead of saying 11:06. It's better and more common to say O, like the letter in the alphabet. Okay. But there is also another more popular way to say or to tell the time. And this is, you have to say the minutes first and then you have to report the hours. So this is kind of like vice versa, okay? We use expressions such as past and the preceding hour for minutes 1 through 9. And we use the preposition to and the forthcoming hour for minutes 31 through 59. This can be a little confusing. Let me show you the following picture. If you have the time, if you have a clock like this, and you divide it into pieces, into halves, you can check the right half with the orange arrow right here. Then on the other side, you can see the left half with the blue arrow with a different preposition. What I'm trying to say here is that when the minutes hand of the clock is on the blue side, I want you to use the preposition to. But when the minutes hand of the clock is on the right side, I want you to use the preposition past. Okay, so anything on this side goes with past, anything on this side goes with to. Okay, remember we have different emphasis. Let me go back to the example. 7:15, it's easier to say, but you can also say it's 15 minutes past 7. 15 minutes past 7. Remember there is an expression for 15 minutes that in Spanish would be un cuarto, in English a quarter past. Okay, a quarter past 7. This is more common. Hard to believe, but it's actually true. You can use the minutes first, then the preposition, and finally the hour. That's why it's a little bit confusing. Now think about this one. 7:45. Easier, but not so common as this one. 15 minutes to 8. Okay, or a quarter to 8. And this one I wanted to emphasize again the expression quarter. But if you notice, I'm changing the preposition to say falta un cuarto para las 8. That's what I'm trying to say on this one. So when you use the preposition to, what you're actually saying is basically the minutes missing for the next hour. And when you use the preposition past, you're talking about the ones just finished. Okay, look at this one. 5:30. 5:30. When you say 5:30, you could also say 5:30 or half past 5 is the most common here in this point. Okay, now let's go to the next one. Common expressions. Remember we use o'clock only at the full hour. 7 o'clock. Okay, but 10 past 7. Remember you can never say it's 10 past 7 o'clock. O'clock would only be for en punto. 7 en punto. 8 en punto. O'clock. Okay? For times around midnight or midday, you can also use expressions noon, for example, if you're talking about during the day, right? Or at midnight if you're talking about during the night. Okay? 12 at night. Don't forget these common expressions because they're actually very popular. Now let's talk about the prepositions of time. Remember that to make it clear, if you mean a time before 12 o'clock noon or after, you can use in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, or at night. This is the only exception. Remember, you can say 3:15, or you can say it's 3:15 in the morning, 3:15 at night, just to make the difference, right? Or you could easily say AM or PM, meaning ante-meridian for AM or post-meridian for PM. This is kind of like the real meaning of those two letters, okay? Now let's practice, okay? On this section we have 12 different clocks and every clock is showing us different time. What's the time? On the first one, as you can see, I want you to analyze the position of the hands of the clock, hour, hands, and minutes hand, before you actually matched the times at the bottom, okay? I can help you with the first one. Number one is 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock. So you can write number 1 right here on this very bottom, right here at 7 o'clock. I want you to write the numbers 1 through 12 on the corresponding spaces. And then be ready to get some practice during class time. What time do you usually, for example, what time do you usually get up in the morning? I usually get up at 7 o'clock. Try to check the vocabulary for these activities you do and what time you usually do them. Okay. As usual, there is a very short video questionnaire that I want you to complete. Some additional references in case you want some extra practice. And that's all for now. I hope you find this video useful and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Universidad Santo Tomás, institución vigilada por el Ministerio de Educación Nacional.